Good morning, people of the world today. Guten Morgen, bonjour, hello, wherever you are. Welcome to Time for the Holidays. This is Mimi with Time for the Holidays, Holidays, Horoscope, and History. This is my co-host, Missy, and I don't know if you can see Squeaky's over there, and Susie is around here somewhere too. They'll all be making their appearances. But, yeah. So anyway, what we do here is every day we just tune in our jammy jams, nothing fancy because we ain't fancy, and we just go over the day's history, the history of the holidays and observances of today, and just a little brief thing on the horoscope of today. So welcome aboard. You all comfy there, Missy? Welcome aboard, and we will get started. So today is January 13th. I don't know if you can see by my windows outside, it's really cold and yucky and just very gray day. I don't really mind those days because then you feel less guilty about just hanging out and being lazy, but yeah, it's not a great day. So anyway, so if it's your birthday today, happy birthday. If it's your birthday, then you are horoscope sign Capricorn. Your element is Earth. Your quality is Cardinal. Your ruling planet is Saturn. Your symbol is Sea Goat. Sign ruler is Saturn and Uranus. Birthstone is Garnet. Lucky numbers are 4, 8, 13, and 22. And your personality traits are responsible, leaders, disciplined, independent, and loyal. But you can also be very stubborn, bossy, and condescending. You also share a birthday with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was born in 1961. American actress, best known for playing Elena in Seinfeld. She's had a bunch of roles, but you know, that's what we first knew her as. She was born in Manhattan, New York City, in New York. In 1966, Patrick Dempsey, American actor, was born in Lewiston, Maine. He's known for playing Dr. McDreamy on Grey's Anatomy. So who is your guys' favorite? McSteamy, McDreamy, one of Meredith's other boyfriends? Who did you guys like? So anyway, in 1979, Shonda Rhimes, American television producer, was born in Chicago, Illinois. She has so many shows she has written and produced, like Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, Private Practice, and most lately Bridgerton. Also born today was Liam Hemsworth in 1990, Australian actor. Used to be married to Miley Cyrus. He was born in Melbourne, Australia. You've seen Liam in Hunger Games, The Last Song, Independence Day, and many more. Also born today in 1977 was Orlando Bloom. He's an English actor who was born in Canterbury, United Kingdom. He has starred in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Lord of the Rings, Troy, Black Hawk Down, and many more. He has a baby daughter with Katy Perry. And they're so adorable, aren't they? The cutest couple ever. All right, so that about sums up birthdays today. So again, have a wonderful day. I hope that you get everything you wish for, depending on what you're wishing for. So anyway, today, January 13th, full of a couple holidays and observances. We'll talk about the history of them. It's Korean American Day. Korean American Day is on January 13th every year. It commemorates the arrival of the first Korean immigrants to the United States in 1903. It also honors the Korean Americans' immense contributions to every aspect of society here. So thank you, to all that everybody's done, like all the immigrants who have come here to make the United States a better place. So it is also Make Your Dream Come True Day. Take a day to just work on your dreams. Put like all the routine things aside for the day and think of how you can take that first step towards your dream, whether it's starting a business or whatever it is. Just take your first steps today. It's also National Peach Melba Day. Peach Melba is a dessert made of peaches and raspberry sauce on top of vanilla ice cream. It was invented around 1892 by the French chef Auguste Escoffier at the Savoy Hotel in London. To honor the Australian soprano Nellie Melba. Melba toast was also made for her. The same chef made both of these dishes for her. So it is also National Rubber Ducky Day. In 1973, on a Sesame Street calendar, Rubber Ducky's birthday is said to be January 13th. So every January 13th, we celebrate National Rubber Ducky Day. Ducky was originally a friend of Ernie and Big Bird and made his debut in the February 1970 episode. So happy birthday, Rubber Ducky. It's also Public Radio Broadcasting Day. The first public radio broadcast in history took place on January 13th in 1910, when a live opera featured some of the most renowned opera singers of the day. It was broadcast from the Metropolitan Opera House. It is National Sticker Day. Here's one of these awesome holidays for those of you who are like crafters. I know a lot of people have the, go and blank on the name, those machines where you can cut out the stickers and everything, and they're pretty fun. Anyway, stickers started being used by European merchants in the 1800s. They used gum paste to stick their stickers to the product so that passerbys could see like bright labels on their products. The observance is today in the honor of R. Stanton Avery, who was born on April 13th in 1907. He was the original creator of the adhesive label with removable backing. So he's the one who made the stickers where you can pull off that little back and then stick it onto something. So happy National Stickers Day. Stephen Foster Memorial Day. Stephen Foster Memorial Day is United States Federal Observance Day, observed on January 13th. It celebrates the life of American songwriter Stephen Foster. The date commemorates the date that Foster died. So those are today's observances and holidays. If you want to go to our website, you can also see like all the weekly and monthly awarenesses that there are too. So a little bit about the history and other random facts. Like I said, we're not fancy. We just kind of lump a bunch of stuff together that happened today on January 13th through history. And don't be afraid if I miss something to post it below. Like, we want to get conversations going. It's just interesting, and like, it's funny. Like, I will read something serious like, oh, an earthquake killed 2,000 people in Taiwan, and I'll like skip over it. But then I'll be like, oh my God, it's Kale Day today, and I will go into a 10-minute speech about Kale Day. So let me know what you guys are interested in and what you aren't, so I know what to talk about more. So today, let me see. So today, on January 13th in 1605, a controversial play called Eastwood Hoe by Ben Jonson, George Chapman, and John Marston was performed. Two of the authors ended up having to go to prison because the play so offended King James. I guess he was really offended by the satirical, the way they made fun of the customs in the early modern London, so he put him to jail. But they wrote out a bunch of letters to different people, and they eventually were released. And it was a close call because they were talking about cutting off their ears and their nose and all kinds of crazy things. So, but thankfully they all got released and the play lived on. In 1840, the steamship Lexington burns and sinks 4 miles off the coast of Long Island with a loss of 139 lives. In 1842, Dr. William Bryden, an assistant surgeon in the British East India Company Army during the First Anglo-Afghan War, becomes famous for being the sole survivor out of an army of 4,500 men and 12,000 camp followers when he reaches the safety of a garrison in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Can you imagine that? All those people, and you're the only one that survived. Talk about survivor's guilt, although I hope he didn't have that. So on a lighter note, in 1930, Disney's Mickey Mouse newspaper strip first appeared in newspapers. The first cartoon was inspired by Charles Limbaugh, and Mickey Mouse pursues the building of his own airplane. In 1939, the Black Friday bushfires burned 20,000 kilometers of land in Australia, claiming the lives of 71 people. Several towns were like totally destroyed. A real tragedy, and I know in the last couple of years we've been dealing with the fires in Australia again. So, all right, well, in 1942, the #1 movie was Babes on Broadway, starring Ricky Rooney and Judy Garland. In 1959, Motown Records was founded by Berry Gordy Jr. It was formed in Detroit and went on to be like a very successful Black-owned business. which back then was a really big deal. I mean, it's still a big deal, but back then it was really hard. So in 1966, Robert C. Weaver becomes the first African-American cabinet member when he is appointed to the U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. In 1966, how many of you guys are Bewitched fans? Well, in 1966, Tabitha, their little daughter, was born on ABC's Bewitched, the episode titled "And Then There Were 30." How sweet. Now skip ahead 3 years to 1969. Dick York, who played Samantha's husband and Tabitha's dad, collapsed on the set of Bewitched and was rushed to the hospital. He ended up having to resign due to having like really serious back problems that were just really persistent. He was later replaced by Dick Sargent. I guess both of her husbands were Dicks, huh? Sorry, couldn't resist. So in 1977, the song "You Don't Have to Be a Star to Be in My Show" by Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. was the #1 song on the Hot 100 Billboard. In 1978, the #1 movie was Saturday Night Fever starring John Travolta. In 1981, the #1 movie was 9 to 5 starring Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda. And here's like where my mind was like curious. Like I looked up some 9 to 5 trivia and this is what I found. So Dolly Parton accepted the role on 9 to 5 as long as she could write and sing the theme song. She ended up getting nominated for an Academy Award and won 2 Grammys. I guess she did that in most of the movies she was in. Pretty interesting. 9 to 5 was also the first female-dominated film to gross $100 million. To prepare for her role as Judy Burnley, a middle-aged divorcee entering the workforce, Jane Fonda went and interviewed a bunch of women that had entered the workforce late in life. And after she interviewed them, that's when she came up with her whole outfit that she came with the conservative get-up she ended up wearing in 9 to 5. With the big glasses and blouse. And did you know that the movie 9 to 5, there was a spin-off sitcom on it in 1982 of 85 episodes? I didn't even know that. Like, where was I? I almost want to watch them now just to see what they were like. I never even heard of them. Did you guys? So, also, Lily Tomlin originally turned down the role of Violet because she was working on a movie called The Incredible Shrinking Woman. Do you guys remember that? And she didn't have time, but the 9 to 5 producers ended up postponing taping of the movie so that she could be in it. So that was pretty cool. And believe it or not, this was Dolly Parton's first film. Jane Fonda was the initiator of the film. It was the third of 6 by her production company, IPC Films. And that's about it about 9 to 5. You can Google more, there's a bunch of it trivia on this movie, but it was just such a fun movie, and it was a little bit different than the others, and I think it held up to this day. It's still fun to watch. In 1990, Douglas Wilder becomes the first elected African-American governor as he takes office in Richmond, Virginia. In 1993, the space shuttle program Endeavour heads for space for the 3rd time as STS-54 launches from the Kennedy Space Center. The primary reason was the 5th Tracking and Data Relay satellite, which was deployed on day 1 of the mission. It was later successfully transferred to its proper orbit and the inertial upper stage booster. It also carried into orbit a payload, or in the payload bay, was a hitchhiker experiment called the Diffuse X-ray Spectrometer. This instrument collected data on the X-ray radiation from diffuse sources in deep space. That's kind of interesting. I want to actually look that up more. If you know more about it, feel free to talk about it in the comments. In 1983, the song "Man Eater" by Daryl Hall and John Oates was the #1 song on the Hot 100 Billboard. In 1997, the #1 movie was Beverly Hills Ninja. In 2001, there was an earthquake in El Salvador that killed more than 800 people. How devastating. So in 2018, a false emergency alert warning of an impending missile strike in Hawaii causes widespread panic in the state. Do you guys remember this? Anybody who had a cell phone got a message saying ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. Can you imagine getting that? Oh my God, what would you do? Where would you go? Like, where do you seek shelter from a missile attack? Like, that's so scary. So anyway, State Governor David Ige later apologized and said it was caused by an employee pressing the wrong button. Oh my God, I bet he's fired. Fired. Okay, in 2021, President Trump is impeached for the second time. The first president to ever be impeached twice for incitement of insurrection. So that sums up today up until 2021. Feel free to post anything below. I know that I only touch on a couple things when a lot of things actually happen. So feel free to post more stuff below and get the conversation going. And bye. Talk to you later.